Support for this episode comes from Signature Bank.
Hey, this is Gary Head at Signature Bank of Arkansas. 20 years ago, we set out to build something different. A community bank that knows your name, values relationships, and gives our bankers the authority to serve you the way that you deserve. From our first location in Fayetteville to now serving families, farms, and businesses across Bentonville, Rogers, Springdale, Harrison, Brinkley, and Jonesboro, we've grown, but our mission remains the same. Local, personal, trusted. With 210 passionate teammates and growing, we're proud to serve all of our communities, including through Banco C, our bilingual banking services in Rogers and Springdale. Whether you're starting your own business, buying a home, or planning for the future, Signature Bank is here for you. Call us today at 479-684-3700 or visit us online at signature.bank. And be sure to tell us you heard about us right here on I Am Northwest Arkansas.
It's time for another episode of I Am Northwest Arkansas, the podcast covering the intersection of business, culture, entrepreneurship, and life in general here in the Ozarks. Whether you are considering a move to this area or trying to learn more about the place you call home, we've got something special for you. Here's our host, Randy Wilburn.
Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of I Am Northwest Arkansas. I'm your host, Randy Wilburn, and I'm excited to be with you. As always, I am actually here in the Center for Innovation at the Fayetteville Public Library. For those of you that do know, I am the Director of Communications and Marketing at the Fayetteville Public Library, so I really enjoy that role, and I have the benefit of actually having access to the sound studio. And it's nice to be able to come down here on my lunch break if I need to record a podcast or to do something on the weekends. And so I'm excited to sit down with actually two people that are not only previous guests on the podcast, but they are also friends. And I'm speaking of none other than Blanca Maldonado and Danielle Reynolds. And Danielle and Blanca are the owners of what they were originally called was Sugar Apple Baking Company. And that was the company when I interviewed them back in 2022, August of 2022 was episode 181. Can you believe that?
Yes.
It's crazy. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. So in August of 2022, and this was kind of during the pandemic, we met upstairs on the fourth floor of the Fayetteville Public Library in one of the study rooms, which I recorded over 100 episodes in. And since then, I've recorded all over Northwest Arkansas, and I'm excited that I'm able to do that. But this is even more special because I get to sit down with you guys once more to learn about some new things that you guys are doing. And I just want to lay this out for the listener because I don't want you to think, oh, well, yeah, Randy's just recycling old guests on the podcast. That couldn't be further from the truth. One of the things that I have had the privilege of doing specifically with you guys and Danielle, we call her Danny and Blanca is Blanca.
Yeah.
And the thing that I've enjoyed is being a witness to the growth of their business and the iterations and the iterative nature of entrepreneurship. And these ladies have never let grass grow under their feet. They have never taken no for an answer. And they are always looking for ways to continue to leverage their brand and to get the word out about the amazing treats that they make. And so on today's episode, and we'll link to episode 181 so you guys can hear them. You can hear the before and after because this is going to be new.
The growth.
The growth. But on today's episode, we're going to kind of break down their journey since 2022 to today. We're now in 2026. And they said Blanca reached out to me a couple of weeks ago and said, I've really got some news I'd love to share with you. We're working on some new things. We're about to, well, I'll let them tell the story. But without further ado, again, I want to welcome Blanca and Danny to the podcast. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Excited to be here.
Thanks for having us back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I meant every word of what I said. But so listen, just real quickly, catch us up on who you guys are. Just give us the quick overarching superhero origin story. And then I want you to get into Sugar Apple because you guys are doing some unique things.
We're
So
trying.
Danny, why don't you go first?
Yeah, so Danny Reynolds. I actually graduated from the U of A with a food science degree. I remember in our episode before this, we talked about how my family is like in the food industry, and I have aunts that, you know, have bakeries and all these different things. And one of those aunts was a food scientist. She did a lot of like research and development for a flour mill called ECGC in the Caribbean. And so as a kid, I was in all these factories and I loved it. So I have a food science degree, and then, you know, life took over and I taught for a while, and now I'm in the CPG world, and I've always wanted to have a CPG product. I've been a CPG freak since I was a kid. I could tell you all the things about a Twinkie down to, you know, what machinery they use, and that it used to be banana flavored before it was vanilla, because that used to be the most popular flavor was banana, not vanilla. And I just love CPG products, and I love being able to leverage, one, my culinary experience, but also my love of food into a product that is just nostalgic and I want to eat.
Yeah, I love that. Now, before I go to Blanca, because now you got me curious, because I was I'm ashamed to say this, I was a Twinkie eater back in the day. I also saw a study of a Twinkie that was kind of left out.
Yes.
And the preservatives that are in it clearly keep it. It looked just like it did the first day it came out of the package. But
it does.
When did they switch over from banana to vanilla?
I think it might have been in the 60s.
Okay, so that was, okay, so by the time I started, because I'm certainly not that old, by the time I started eating Twinkies, it was already vanilla.
Yes.
Yeah,
but banana was like the original flavor.
Wow, interesting. And banana is like one of my favorite flavors. So
it's the number one like produce item in the United States.
Yeah, easily.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, it is. Wow. Okay. Blanca.
Yes. Hey, so what about me? I have
She's awesome.
fully embraced that I am an entrepreneur with this journey between Sugar Apple Baking Co. and going into Sugar Apple Treats and the Rice Krispie CPG. I feel like I get to marry all my favorite things about business and creativity into this business. Like growing up, I used to love making music videos with my friends and my cousins and my brothers. And now I treated Sugar Apple Baking Co. when I used to record the process or behind the scenes, the same knowledge and playfulness into those videos as well.
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, I don't know if you mentioned the video thing back in the last
I didn't.
episode.
That was something that has been revealing itself since 2022, because I'm like, why do I enjoy this so much? Where is this from? And my mom sent us some home videos. And she's like, remember when you made this music video with your brothers and had them dance to NSYNC?
How old were you?
11.
Okay.
12, 13.
You know, I find that to be interesting, and I'm going to just take a quick tangent and tell a short story around and why that's significant, because I think a lot of times people struggle with, you know, what their calling is or what they like to do. And a lot of times we ignore or we don't give much weight to some of the things that we did as kids, because we say once we become adults, well, we put away childish things and all that. But sometimes there are breadcrumbs that are left in the activities and the things that we did as children that really provided us with a level of a high degree of comfort and passion and just excitement.
Joy.
And joy.
Yes.
And I remember, and just to kind of tell a story, a friend of mine, I remember when she was opening up a bookstore and people were like, man, you're really good at this. She had never opened up a bookstore before. And her mother said to her, and I think she had forgotten this, that, you know, as a little girl, used to take books out in the neighborhood and make people check them out as a librarian. That was her thing back in the day. And she had totally forgotten about that. And that story always stuck with me, because sometimes we ignore the things that we're most passionate about or that we have a skill set for or a proclivity towards, because we feel like, oh, well, that was just what I did as a kid. Yeah. It has no bearing on my future or on where I am as an adult. And I honestly believe that couldn't be further from the truth. And that's just one example, one story. Your story is another one. I'm sure there's some listeners out there, and I'd love to hear from you. If you had an experience as a child that has manifested itself in what you do for work now, or what you do for your business or something along those lines, because sometimes, you know, we tend to overlook those signs.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I did for a long time.
Yeah.
And then my mom she was sending us these home videos, and I would tell the stories to my friends. Danny knows about the music videos I used to make with my brothers. And I remember one when we got a video recorder, a camcorder, and I was always excited to like get the family videos, but I would record them in a way that it was like a novela. Right. So there was a lot of drama. And one time, like my aunt and uncle, we went to DC and they were like having a fight. So I recorded it like a breakup, getting together video, and I was narrating it.
Oh my goodness.
So I feel like a lot of that has been spilling over into Sugar Apple Treats, and it's been really fun to revisit that side of myself.
Yeah.
So Blanca shows up to my house with this like screen in the back and these like silky PJs. And I'm like, what's going on right now?
What's happening?
So we were going to be vendors at a TLC concert at the Momentary.
Oh, I remember that concert.
Blanca sets it up in my living room and has me recreate the TLC video. I was like, so what is happening right now?
That's hilarious.
I was like, why do you have all this equipment?
I went ahead. I know we like jokingly said it, and I was like, if you're serious, I can make this happen.
I have to be careful about my like what ifs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm a big what if person. I like to say that like the world is filled with endless possibilities. Absolutely. And none of them are in your past.
Yeah.
So it's like limitless. And I just love being like, Blanca, what if? And so even Rice Krispie Treats were a what if.
Yes.
We originally sold Rice Krispie Treats because I needed something that was a staple for Sugar Apple Baking Co.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the items for the time were super adventurous. Like I'm making guava pastelitos from scratch. Nobody knew what those were. I was like, okay, we need one item that if someone shows up and they're unfamiliar, but they want to support us, I need something that they'll be like, oh, I know what a Rice Krispie Treat is.
Yeah. And everybody knows what the Rice Krispie Treat is.
And originally...
Not the nasty ones in the blue container.
No, ours have brown butter.
Yeah,
and they are brown butter and ground vanilla beans and real caramel, and it's a whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
But the original ones were just wrapped in plastic wrap.
Oh, my goodness.
It was just plastic wrap, nothing on them. Yes.
Saran wrap.
Yeah.
And then we got... this lady messaged us. She was like, hey, I want to buy 50 for my office party. And I called Blanca and I said, Blanca, I can't be dropping off 50 Rice Krispie Treats wrapped in saran wrap. Yeah. I can't do it. So that happened. And every time something like that has happened for us, we're like, okay, we're going to meet the moment.
Time to step up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then we got an impact sealer and we were heat sealing them.
Okay.
You know?
Printed out some labels. I was like, what if? And that's my what if. I'm like, well, what if these people love it so much that somebody buys 100?
Yeah.
You know, I want it to look better. And then it was like, then we figured out size. I was like, okay, what if it was smaller? And that was because I would sit with customers, especially in Pearl's bookstore, and I would have a million questions. I'd be like, who are you buying this for? Oh, it's just for you. How long does it take you to eat that? Because they used to be massive. We used to call them a brick.
10 minutes too long?
Yes.
Right.
And then the people that have been with us from the beginning have seen all the iterations of us testing out. At one point,
I'm raising my hand.
Yes. At one point, we had them in bags.
Yes.
We were like,
bites.
what if pouches work? Let's see how this goes. And then we learned quickly it's time consuming to package.
It was, and people wanted the brick. I was like, okay.
They want to cut it themselves.
Yes. And then I'd be like, okay, well, you buy this and you say it takes you 3 days. What size do you cut it in? They'd be like half. So I was like, okay, B, I think we have to go smaller because I don't want somebody to open up the package, have a half, and then the other half goes stale while they wait.
Yeah.
So it was just talking to customers, getting feedback. At one point when we were trying to figure out flavors, we sold a sample box with 10 flavors that had a QR code on it with all these questions. Because it's like, I want to be a company that is customer centered.
Yeah.
Not one that's just for my flavor palette.
Yeah.
So it's been a fun ride. And I'm often just amazed at how open the community is to help us and give us feedback.
Yeah. I've seen you guys out in your element, whether it was at the Black Expo or other events where you were, handing out or giving or selling items, or like you'd come to the Black Expo and by early midday, you'd be out of most of your products.
Yeah.
Yes. So I would always be like, hey, say a Rice Krispie for me because I know they're going to be gone. But I mean, that is a sign, right? That the market is speaking back to you.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you have been patient enough to really listen to what the market says. And that has actually informed, and that's probably why we're here today having this conversation, because you've decided to kind of pivot a little bit on the original version of
Yes.
Sugar Apple Baking Company into Sugar Apple Co. And so I'd love for you to maybe talk about that and why we're even here talking about this
I
today.
have to tell this story. Every time we pivot and something gets bigger, I always remind Blanca. Blanca does not like Rice Krispie Treats.
No.
She likes my Rice Krispie Treats and our Rice Krispie Treats.
Didn't grow up on Rice Krispie Treats.
Yeah.
In our household, when we've been doing pop-ups, I've been learning people make it at home, have been making it growing up. And I tell Danny, I was like, Latinos do not make Rice Krispie Treats.
Interesting.
It is not part of our culture. And the only one I had was, the nasty one.
Yeah.
So when Danny brought that up, I was like, ew, you can make so many better things. Why are we going to make Rice Krispies? And she explained the explanation she gave me. I was like, I always follow her lead too, because I'm like,
what if?
Yeah.
Why not? Let the universe say no to me.
Yep.
Not myself. I'm not going to block myself either. And I'm glad I'm that way, because a lot of the great stuff that happened to me is because I let the universe say no.
Yeah.
And redirect me or pivot. And that's why I say I'm like, I really feel like an entrepreneur, because this journey, I've never pivoted so much. Not even when I play post on basketball pickup do I pivot this much and this hard.
That's funny.
And it's really fun. I love that Danny's my business partner, because she's also the same mentality where she's like, let's try it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's just see.
So let's just see.
Yeah. So 2 years in, I'm looking at the sales numbers and we had just kind of flatlined, right? I think we just tapped out on markets and pop-ups. And so the next step was either be okay with that or it was time to step it up.
Yeah.
So I started just digging into our sales numbers, and turns out over those 2 years, 65% of our sales were from the Rice Krispie treat. So I was like, okay, and this is all,
basically.
I'm like, this is
And
wild.
we're selling a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot.
And the last year, we only sold Rice Krispie Treats.
Yes.
Because we were testing this idea out.
Yes.
We only sold Rice Krispie Treats in 2025.
That was it.
Really?
Mhm.
And we narrowed down what events we want to do. And, we read a bunch of books and took
So
their
many.
guidance too. And one of them was very specific about tying it to an event. And that's how we ended up at the Momentary and doing all the concert events.
Okay.
So that moment, we get a lot of really fun stories about how they were at the concert and they took a bite of our pistachio honey Rice Krispie and they associate that moment. And that's part of the entrepreneur thing of just learning and applying. We apply really quickly.
We do.
As soon as we learn something new, we're not going to waste our time. And
Well, that's the nimbleness, right, of entrepreneurship. That if you are not so stuck in your ways,
right,
and you're willing to go with the flow of the market at times, then that is a perfect testament to that. So, I think that's huge.
Yeah,
I think that's huge.
I want to share the story about our sample. It was another random late night conversation I was having with Danny, and she was trying to figure out what flavor should we try. I was like, let me just put it on my DMs on my Instagram stories that we're going to be selling samples, and maybe we get 6 orders. People will be from all over, and it's going to only live for 24 hours. Randy,
it was a lot more than
we ended
that.
up getting 45 orders off of one story on my personal Instagram account that is private, from California to New Jersey to Florida to Arkansas. And I kept telling Dan, I was like, what is happening?
And I was just I remember being like, once again, we are in the find out stage.
Yes. I had to quickly figure out how to package, ship, and work through the process. One thing Danny's really great at is visualizing it. She sees the whole process, and I have a hard time with that. So she balances me out. She gives me the roadmap, and I get to put the pieces together. And halfway doing the sample box, I told Danny, I have to change the packaging because they're going to meld together and the flavors they're not going to be good.
Yeah.
Again, we pivoted, and I quickly had to make handmade plastic and individual. So what's 45 times 10?
Too many.
450 different little squares that I packaged, because each package had 10 of them.
Wow.
But quickly I was up to I thought it was I also have time blindness. So I was like, it's going to take me a couple of minutes. It's going to take me 2 hours.
She
said that.
I was up till 2 in the morning.
I was like, I'm not going to say anything. But I think for us, it's we always joke. I'm like, listen, I might mess around, but I'm not going to find out.
Yes.
You know, I'm like, there's no finding out. I'm not going to find out.
Yeah.
So as soon as I'm like, okay, let's get this together quickly, you know? And I think like it's that nimbleness for us where if I get an opportunity, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
At least some version of it. And not to say like there have been things that we've turned down because I was like, we're not ready yet. We're not at capacity. If we do this now, I don't think we could grow fast enough, or what happens after that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm always like, we talk all the time about like where we want to be in 30 years, 40 years, 50 years.
Yeah.
And that a lot of times is like our guidepost. Like, is this thing that we're doing, will it lead to more growth, or will it put us in a position where we're going to be so bound up that we can't grow?
Yeah.
So that's like always like sometimes a push and pull. And sometimes we disagree where I'm like, I don't think we should do that yet. And Blanca's like, we should. And when that happens, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get my numbers together. You get your numbers together.
Yeah.
And I've been wrong sometimes where I'm like, all right, you're right. The numbers say something else. But even that, it's like open-mindedness when we disagree has been helpful.
Yeah.
Man, and it's so much. I mean, well, first of all, actually, I want you to finish this story about sending off these samplers. How did that end up, and what did that tell you about what you decided to do?
So I got a rush. I learned that I love the pressure, but
I don't.
It gave me, I also had an idea of how to ship things out because before Sugar Apple, I had an apparel company. So that gave me an idea of how to streamline it. Just thinking through it as a food item, though, was new. I had to think of it, the integrity of the package getting there versus clothes, like the post office could toss it around. So I had to find the right size box. I had to find what's the best way to ship it where it's not going to cost us a bunch.
But also get there like fast.
And get there fast. And another one of my side hustles was I was flipping sneakers.
Oh,
and
cool.
One of the hacks is using a shoebox, but put it in a poly bag. They charge you as a poly bag mailer instead of a box.
Okay.
So I was like, we're going to do that with the Rice Krispies.
Wait. So walk that back, because actually my wife sells a lot of shoes on Poshmark. So if you put your shoes in a box in a poly bag.
Yes.
Okay.
And you get the poly bag shipping price.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Okay. Interesting.
Yes. So
do you still flip sneakers?
Not as much. I don't have time. I'm right now. I'm flipping Rice Krispies, trying to stack this money.
Yeah, that's it. I like that.
Yes, but
it's funny how different experiences inform other things that we're doing.
So that's why when she mentioned, let's do put it on your DMs and ship them out. I wasn't like, how am I going to do this? I had a skeleton idea of it.
Yeah.
The only new thing was the product. It's a food product now.
Yeah.
But it went really well. People were sending me their shipping address. I'd send out the invoice and they were paying. So a lot of times I was like, I'm going to send out the invoice. By the time they get the invoice, they're not going to pay. Everybody was paying. And I was like, Danny, we're at 15. Danny, we're at 30. I'm like, it's only going to live for 24 hours. So eventually it'll die out, right? And it finally died out at 45.
Wow.
And it was a really exciting learning experience. It's also curated intelligently. Danny was also getting market research.
Mm-hmm.
She's always thinking of
I like numbers.
Grabbing information so that we can utilize it for growth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like from that send out, I used that information. There was I had an entire ranking system for Rice Krispie Treats.
Yep.
I used that information to figure out our top 4 flavors.
Okay.
And then also using that to figure out, okay, what should be like a limited run because it was popular, but not majority.
Yeah.
And even then I took feedback. We had one that we tried out that was toasted coconut and someone wanted more toasted coconut. So I really looked at that feedback because otherwise market research, if you're a CPG company, is hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Sure.
Yes.
And that it's literally what we did. It's having somebody do a sensory panel and then rank items. And I was like, why don't we just do that?
Yeah,
you know?
Shout out to everybody that helped us with that. I really appreciate it. I still looked at it when we were setting up our website.
Okay.
I still had all the information up.
We used reviews from it.
Yes, we used the reviews. And I mean, we couldn't do it without our community either.
No, we had 100 respondents. That is amazing.
Yes.
To get 100 people of their own free will, not paid, to try products, fill out, and it was 30 questions. It wasn't short.
Mm-hmm.
To rank things, to provide feedback on every single one. I thought we would have gotten 20, and 100, it almost brought me to tears because I was like, whoa, that was shocking to me to get that many.
Yeah, because we also did it here at Pop-Ups. It wasn't just that one was just to test out shipping and if it would like hit around the nation.
Yeah.
Because we were entertaining the idea of getting a website up and like solely going to Rice Krispies. But we did do some here at Pearl's Books, did a pop-up at Fossil Cove, and they all had the QR code. And
didn't you guys do something at Two Friends up in Bentonville? And you were at the Momentary. I mean, you guys have been all over the place.
Yes.
So 2 questions. First is, you guys seem to really complement each other, right? I mean, your energy is infectious. I'm just sitting here with goosebumps just listening to you guys talk. And I always enjoy being around you because you guys just put off a good vibe. How much of a challenge has it been for you to work together? You know, sometimes they say partnerships, don't always work.
Yes.
Right?
I've had that experience too.
Yeah. And I've talked to a lot of entrepreneurs that are like, hey, this is a K solo show. I don't do it with anybody else because, I mean, I have people that I hire, but I don't, I'm not doing this with anyone else. And a lot of times
I feel so lucky.
Yeah.
Because I have had an experience where it hasn't worked out. And even in disagreements, like she said, we work so well together. I feel so blessed to be able to tell her my worries and what our growth, or even dreaming together. I know I credit Danny a lot for getting to dream huge. I was never thinking of having a CPG company nationwide.
Yeah.
Danny likes to dare to dream huge. Like, I love it. That's something I learned in our entrepreneurial process, because even if we don't get there, I've gotten a lot of it. Just the excitement, the wins, but it's just compatibility has been, I don't know, I haven't felt any friction.
I think we're good at staying in our lanes too.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, I'm like the data and the numbers person and the sales and projections.
And you're the chef.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
but
an important part.
Yes. But even the way I do it is, it's not as creative as everybody thinks, It's really food science heavy. So it's down to, we tested out different marshmallow creams because I wanted to see how the marshmallows would slip in our product over time. So I was literally testing, like, what's the right ratio of brown butter to marshmallow, so that if a consumer got it 6 months later, I don't want them to open up the package and then all the marshmallow has like slipped to the bottom, because we use real marshmallow and real butter. So that's like a genuine concern. How do I stabilize it? So a lot of what I do is trying to balance like what the customer will experience over time with our Rice Krispie Treat with flavors. But I'm a lot like, I have marketing ideas, but I know my limitations. I'm not making any music videos. I'm not, I'm not recording.
And that's the balance.
I'm not doing
that's
it.
the balance that you
Yeah.
get between Blanca and yourself.
Yeah,
Down to, I'm terrible at emails. I'm terrible at emails. I'm terrible about scheduling things. And Blanca's good at that. So even when we were just, doing pop-ups in an alley, I remember like one of the first conversations we had, I was like, okay, what do you think you're good at?
Yeah.
And I was like, this is what I think I'm good at. I was like, I'm good at the numbers. I'm good at figuring out our margins. I can be really organized this way. And I was like, these are the things I don't want to do. And luckily for us, the things that I didn't want to do are the things that Blanca's great at.
Yeah.
So I think some of it is like having the self-awareness to know what your limitations are and to seek that out in whoever is going to be your business partner or whoever you hire.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that I am good at everything. I know my limitations. I knew that being responsible for taking pictures and marketing, there's no way I would have done it. You know? I'm an introvert that like rises to the occasion.
Yeah.
But I'm not naturally the type of person. Like when we were trying to find bank loans, Blanca would walk into banks.
Yes.
I would never do that, Randy.
I was like, who do you know? I'm always asking.
Yeah,
who do you know? I talked to you about it too.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's how we landed here the first time.
Yes.
Was Blanca, I think, emailed you.
Yeah.
And I remember when she said that, I was mortified.
She was very forward.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was like,
it was all good.
I was like, you did
Well,
what?
you know, I was taught a long time ago that a closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Period. Right. And I know that's like a witty sounding thing, but it's really true.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandfather used to say to me, are you man or mouse? Squeak up. Right. And he would be like, you got to speak up for yourself. And that always stuck with me, even as a kid when I would hear that. And I get that, there are some people, I mean, there's a really great book out called Quiet about people that are really laid back and reserved in the business marketplace, because a lot of times people don't take you seriously if you're not vocal and bombastic and just kind of in your face. But not everybody's cut that way.
Right.
I'm not.
And and I think to me, when I think about that, that's actually one of the tangible benefits to a properly constructed partnership, where, you don't bring sand to the beach. Each of you brings a unique skill set and ability to the table that rewards what your efforts are, but also allows you to play off of each other.
Yes.
We do get to play off in a healthy way, right? Not in a competitive way.
No. Yeah. I also stay in my lane. I just listen to what Danny's telling her the numbers are saying. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go make a video that targets that customer base.
Yeah.
Because she's the queen of research and going down rabbit holes of just the market research part.
Yeah.
That's all her. And she'll say, hey, this flavor is popular. Make something that invokes these feelings.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying that part.
So why sugar apple treats? And what did you ultimately come to the conclusion of? Because again, I've tasted everything that you've made, and there was not one thing I did not like. Obviously, I am, like you said, I'm a fanboy of Rice Krispie Treats. I did grow up, unlike you, Blanca.
Yeah.
I grew up, my mother on Friday night or Saturday night would make Rice Krispie Treats as a treat.
Yeah.
And she would make them fresh. She would buy the Kellogg's Rice Krispies. We'd get, some butter, and we would get the marshmallows and we would go to town, and I loved it. And the thing I always remembered is that I would get all that stickiness all over my hands at the end of it. And it's just like, but there was nothing like it. And even to this day, like, we've taught all our boys how to make Rice Krispie Treats, and only one, shout out to Nathan, makes them with regularity. And he actually does a really good job of them. But that's something that we definitely enjoy. So, but yeah, I'm curious to know sugar apple treats.
Yeah, it was the most scalable option.
Okay.
It was shelf stable. If it doesn't need to be refrigerated, I didn't want to worry about cold chain and worry about having a frozen product that I had to ship to a warehouse and then ship out. It's nostalgic, and there's not that many on the market that are good. So that was my thing too. Is I'm like, if I'm going to try, Blanca talks about me dreaming big. I dream in terms of like legacy.
Okay.
Which I think about all the time, because I think about like my aunts and the things that they've built. And when I go back home to the Caribbean, it's like I see my family. So I think like I come from a family of legacy builders.
Yeah.
So I think that way. I think like, okay, when I'm not here anymore, what will still be here? So it's like if I'm building a brand or even a company that's legacy building, what does it need to be? What would our core values be? And people love like putting their core values on their website.
Yeah.
I think that should be a you thing, because I think even as just individuals, you need to know what your core values are for you. So for me, it was like whatever I make, I want there to be high quality ingredients. I want there to be intentionality behind a product and not just a money play.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be that we started a Rice Krispie Treat company because we thought it'd be fast cash. I want this to be around. I want to pass this on, or I want my grandkids to be shareholders if that's possible. So it's like, how do we want to grow? Who do we want to be? So it's like high quality, good flavors, intentional, and I want it to be customer focused. Because those are the things that I'm like, if we can make that part of our core values as a company, those are the kind of things that people care about long term. That's the kind of thing that makes me in 30 years from now a competitor to Kellogg's. It's like being able to stick around for a long time versus it's like it's hard in business because there's so many times where somebody will tell you no.
Yeah.
Yes.
And because I know where I want to be and how long I want to be here, when somebody tells us no, I'm like, it's a no from you. There's going to be somebody right behind you eventually who's going to tell me yes. So it's like, all right, no from you. I'm like, it's a no right now. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
And that's
or you just say next.
Yes.
And you go on to the next person.
But that's always been my like attitude in life is I'm not rejection sensitive.
No.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll take a no and then I'll keep it pushing. So Rice Krispie Treats are scalable. They're shelf stable. The packaging is already available. And I make a good Rice Krispie Treat. And I've got 3 years of data telling me like what our customers like and how to give them value.
Yeah. Well, man, I love hearing that. Blanca, do you want to add anything to that at all?
No. I was like, the Rice Krispies, the data is what have our anchor flavors. We have pistachio honey, salted caramel, vanilla bean, and birthday cake.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Birthday cake. That sounds different. Are there sprinkles in there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
So what has Northwest Arkansas meant to you guys as a place to launch this business?
People here are unusually kind and helpful.
Yes. In this process of scaling, we had the opportunity to work with the owner of Hill City Popcorn
Sure.
in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
She was so kind. She didn't have to be.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for her.
Why did you choose her?
Well, we were looking for a machine that we can scale and make Rice Krispies. And there isn't one that isn't like $30,000.
Right.
But Danny was also like, well, these are the components we need from a machine. And she researched it and she came to thinking outside the box again. She goes, let's find a popcorn maker. Because if they can coat popcorn without crushing it with caramel, can most likely coat the Rice Krispies too. Because that was the concern, that we didn't want it to crush it. And I was like, okay. So she was like, there's one in Fayetteville. Give them a call. So I went ahead and I called her.
I can't make phone calls.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why you have Blanca.
Yes.
So,
I was like, yes. She gave me the roadmap again. I was like, perfect. I know what to do. I know what I want. Let me go find it. And if she doesn't work out, we'll drive to Little Rock if we have to.
Sure.
We're going to go somewhere and try this.
Somebody will say yes eventually.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she got on the phone with me and all she asked was like, so you're not interested in popcorn? I was like, no. She goes, because I'm not going to train my competitor. I was like, I promise we don't want to do any popcorn. So we came in and she showed us the machine and we saw it. And Danny's like, this is going to work. I really feel like this will work. And right there on the spot, she said, do y'all want to run a test batch? And I was like, yes, if you let us, yeah, we'll definitely want to run a test batch. And in like 4 days, we brought our ingredients and ran a test batch and it worked.
And that was it.
And that was it.
Man.
That's what this community does.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember her name, but she's actually a parent of a soccer player that plays with a local soccer team here. And I've run into her several times. I just can't think of her name right now. But yeah, shout out to Hill City.
Yes.
For contributing to your dream.
Yes.
And to
in a
helping
big
you
way.
Get things off the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you remember her name?
No.
I worked with Emily.
Emily. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I worked with Emily. It was her employee.
Oh, as an employee. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. Well,
Jessica.
I think that
It's
might
Jessica.
be it. Jessica.
Yeah.
Well, we'll give a shout out to Jessica and Hill City Popcorn in the show notes. So,
yes.
Yeah. So, and actually have really good popcorn. My son's
yes, they do.
The dill popcorn
have
they have a bunch of different flavors.
A lemon.
They have flavors that shouldn't be popcorn flavors, but they work.
Delicious.
Yes.
It's crazy.
The lemon flavor
flavor
one was
profiles
so good.
are just like, wow, this actually does work.
Yeah, that's another thing. We connected on the flavor profile. She understood what we were trying to do as well.
Yeah.
And she goes,
speaks your language.
Yes. That was really fun to meet someone like that too. She was like, yeah, on the holidays. And we started yapping about business too.
Very good.
But this community,
that was amazing.
Every step they help us. Like Pearl's book, when we started doing Rice Krispies, our baking, or sugar apple baking. But in every step, the momentary, they've been helping us out, just getting us in the spots to sell at the concerts.
Yeah.
It was so fun to like sell at a TLC concert. I'm a 90s kid. Like,
that was
what?
Yeah.
What? I always tell Danny, I was like, oh my God, I love being here. Like, I get to watch a show.
You know what they say, don't go chasing waterfalls.
Right. Like, that was such a memorable moment.
Oh,
like,
man.
Growing up on their music and I get to sell at their concert.
Yeah. So what's next for you guys? I mean, what are you going to do now that you have this? I think you have found or set upon a plan that you think is going to work, that's going to allow you to take your creation nationwide.
Yes.
How do you plan to do that?
I like to joke. I'm like a crispy in every mouth, you know?
Yes.
Like that's my
We'll start with mine right here. I'll take one right away.
Yes, that's my like, when everybody's like, what's your goal? I'm like, a crispy in every mouth in the United States.
That's hilarious.
And it's
That's
ridiculous.
usually how we start the conversation.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but it's that like, I don't know how to dream small, you know? Like I dream like, I think, what is the biggest what if that I could achieve? And then I like work my way down to like actionable steps. But it's so hard for me to be like, well, I want to do this small thing. I'm like, my brain just doesn't work that way. I'm like, what is the biggest thing that I could do. And I'm like, oh, what if I'm a household name and everybody knows me? And then I'm like, all right, you're like 20 years from that, but like work your way back.
Yeah.
But this year, it's like the next 2 years for me, the goal is to have as much market exposure as we can afford, you know, because let's be real. If you're a small business, there is a limit to what you can really do for like advertising and like getting yourself out there. But as much market exposure that we can afford, because I want to figure out where we're popular.
Yeah.
What if it's like, I've seen all of this market research on Utah as like sweet consumption state. I'm like, what if we're big in Utah?
Yeah.
I've never even been to Utah.
Yeah, because they don't drink coffee.
Yes.
There's a number of things they don't mess with. So,
but they like sugar.
They like sugar.
So I'm like, what if Utah, you know, or like a lot of market research is like Maine. I'm like, Maine? I haven't been to Maine either. I'm like, how do we? So it's like, I want to see like where we land. And I guess it's that like openness is I'm not set on, oh, we're going to be really popular in Dallas. I don't know. Maybe we will be. But I just want to see like where we go. And I'm so excited to see like nationally where this resonates.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be such a cool project.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Blanca?
I love learning like the niches that we want to target. So one of them is runners clubs.
Okay.
Runners and bikers, they like it as a pre-workout sugar, you know. So my mind has been like, how do I help them visualize this on their run? How do I help them visualize this on their bike ride? What's the video going to look like? What's it supposed to feel like? So like as a sports head, I'm like, Nike. I got to figure out how to be the Nike of Rice Krispies.
There you go.
You know?
There you go. Have you guys read the book Shoe Dog?
No.
About Phil Knight? So about the founder of Nike, Phil Knight. He wrote a book called Shoe Dog, which is absolutely incredible.
I have not read the book,
Highly
but
recommend
I watched the movie.
Oh, yes.
With Jordan.
The air up there.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
and he kind of touches on some points
a little bit,
there.
yes. But you have to read the book.
Okay,
I highly recommend it because, but you also guys said you've been reading some books lately.
So many.
That have informed you. What are one or two that really stood out to you that you would recommend to our audience?
One that we read, I'm so sad that I can't remember the title, but it was the best. It's the best one. It gave a roadmap, not of like CPG success, but of CPG failures.
Oh.
You know, and that has been more valuable than reading about success stories for us. Because it's like, what are the pitfalls and what do we avoid? Yeah. And one of them was, he talked about plateaus.
Yeah.
And when you reach a plateau, it doesn't mean that your business is failing. It just means that you either need to step it up or you need to figure out how to reduce your costs. Right. And that was one that I was like, whoa, I haven't thought about that. So a big pitfall is like a CPG company will plateau on sales.
Yeah.
And instead of looking at their entire budget and going, hey, we're at a point now where we can renegotiate logistics contracts or wholesale orders. Instead, they'll dump a lot of money into advertising, but they haven't reduced their operating costs any. So then they get in the situation where their advertising budget and their sales are creeping up really quickly, but they can't sustain it because their operating revenue is messy. So it's like some of that was like so useful because then it's like every time that we buy a product, I'm like, okay, B, when we get to this threshold, maybe we need to reach out and figure out who our next purveyor will be so we can reduce costs.
Yeah.
And that one was great. Instead of it being like, to be a successful CPG company, you need to be gritty, blah, blah, blah. It was like, hey, your first 2 years, if you're tripling your numbers, you need to take a break and see what's up because you're going to outpace your operating revenue.
Sure.
That's like, whoa. Because it's like everybody's like, you want all this success. But as a business owner, there's a lot of times where you have to throttle yourself because you don't have an unlimited amount of funds.
Yeah.
You have a limited budget and you need to throttle and make sure that like the way you're spending your money is adding value that is, once again, like it's that sustainability piece. I don't want to be a company that we get hot for 5 years and then it's like, oh, you're out. You can't grow anymore because you've tapped out on everything. You know, I want to be around forever. So that one, I will find it and take a picture and send it to you.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, we'll put that in the show notes.
It was excellent.
The book to be named later.
Yes. It was amazing.
We will definitely do
We did a whole book study together. I was like, okay, Blanca, we're going to read 2 chapters and then we're going to talk to each other about what we got out of it.
Yes.
And that
it's like
was
a little book club.
Yes. And that was so funny because I took numbers out of it and Blanca took marketing out of it. We were reading the exact same book.
I got the Red Bull marketing out of it.
Yes.
A lot of times you take, it's that reticular activator. It's the thing that's forefront in your mind, and so it's like that's the thing that you will glean out of whatever you read or look at. So yeah, I think that's huge. Well, I'm excited for you guys. So now, are you going to be in normal retail outlets, Walmart, Target, or are you going for more higher end confectionery places? Or what's the end game, or what would you like to see happen in the near future?
So the next 2 years, the goal is to build a really good direct-to-consumer base of customers.
Okay.
That's really important if you're a small brand, is to be able to have revenue that is just yours without there being like a large percent of margin that's going to somebody else. But in May, we're going to start actively looking for retail locations. But for the next 2 years, we're aiming for small chain grocery, coffee shops, anywhere where it's like a little bit of like a niche market.
Yeah.
Because it's like everybody wants, as much as big goal is like a crispy in every mouth, it's like the best way to do it if you're a company our size is to go after multiple different niches until you are saturated in that market. That's how you get to being in the total market. So it's like going after runners, going after cyclists, going after high-end coffee, going after specialty grocery. Eventually, if we keep finding our niches, then we'll have enough distribution to go broader than that.
Okay.
So the goal is coffee shops, small chain groceries, and direct to consumer.
Yeah. So narrow focus for right now, but then you will expand
Absolutely.
that. Yeah, that makes sense. And I like the whole D2C approach, because if you can perfect that vehicle, what nowadays with how easy it is to get stuff out into people's hands, it's huge.
Go to our website and see how easy it is to check out, because that's how it was designed.
What's the website address?
SugarAppleTreats.shop.
SugarAppleTreats.shop.
Yes, go to our website and we got a treat for all of Randy's listeners.
Oh,
I created a coupon code that says I am NWA.
Yes.
And you get a discount at checkout.
Yes. So and that NWA stands for Northwest Arkansas.
Yes.
Yes.
So, just to be clarified. So I was watching Straight Outta Compton the other night, and I'm like, man, I don't want people to get confused.
I like that coupon code more now.
Yes. So yes.
I'm going to put so much music to that coupon code.
Man. So, okay. I appreciate that. So if folks go to SugarAppleTreats.shop. And then they use the coupon code
I am NWA.
Okay. And they'll get a discount.
Yes.
Okay. There you go. So everybody that's listening to this, whose mouths are watering, just thinking about, I've got to have a Rice Krispie treat now. And please do not go out. Even if you have some of those blue packaged Rice Krispie treats, and you know what I'm talking about, put those down because you got to get a real one.
Time.
You got to get a real one.
Treat
because,
yourself
listen,
to
I'm going
a
to tell you, that brown sugar, that brown butter, and just the fresh vanilla and everything, it's just, there's something about it. It just hits differently.
Yes.
So I really want to encourage you to take advantage of what these young ladies are doing, both here in Northwest Arkansas and soon to be throughout the United States and beyond. And
we're doing it now. Our website is live. We have orders coming in. We're getting ready to rev up and do our first run. That's a first for us.
That's awesome.
We ended up getting that kettle cooker.
Okay.
And how many Rice Krispies you said?
Oh my gosh, that cooker at max capacity can make about 750 Rice Krispie treats.
Wow.
And we're making them here in Northwest Arkansas.
Right. I love
Springdale.
That. Yeah.
At
I
Spring
love that.
Kitchen.
Yeah. Shout out to Spring Kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah. And we have a number of amazing kitchens that have popped up. And even right here where we're recording this at the Fayetteville Public Library, you can use your library card to get access to the commercial kitchen that they have here. So, I mean, there's all kinds of options.
Yes.
So even if you're if you're listening to this and you have a food product that you want to start and you're inspired by what Blanca and what Danny have done with Sugar Apple Treats, then you need to come on down to the library, maybe test some things out in the kitchen. Maybe don't make a mess in your own kitchen.
Yeah.
You can come to the kitchen here and do
Yes.
that with your library card.
That and the
try some
library has
things out.
entrepreneurship classes too.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
They do.
This
We've
wasn't
been to
supposed to
them.
be a commercial for the library.
but
should
we
be.
love it.
Yes, yeah,
We've
absolutely.
used
Absolutely.
the studio here to
Yeah.
take product pics.
Yeah.
I've taken classes for editing videos here with
Okay.
Illustrator and marketing.
Yeah. I love
It's-
that.
Their programs here have been invaluable.
Nah, I love that. Well, keep doing that and keep coming back to this library. But more importantly, do not water down this wonderful dream that you guys have had. I saw it when I first met you guys. You had a glow about you, that entrepreneurship glow. And now almost 4 years later, you still have that glow about you. So I'm your biggest cheerleader and biggest fan. And I just want to encourage you to keep going. And I look forward to the next iteration of what this becomes, to the point, like I was joking with you, but I wasn't. I was like, man, either y'all going to end up on Shark Tank or somebody's going to sign a national deal with y'all and, let you take it everywhere. But I'll at least be able to say, I remember them when,
Yes.
and I could point to the podcast episodes as proof that I was here to tell your story. So
From the beginning.
from the beginning.
Yes.
So Danny and Blanca, thank you guys both so much. The website address again is
SugarAppleTreats.shop.
SugarAppleTreats.
Get one of each flavor.
And don't forget the special code, I am NWA. Use that code and you'll get a discount. I don't know exactly what the discount is, but I bet you your stomach's going to appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thank you guys both so much.
Thanks so
appreciate
much for having us.
Thanks for
All right.
having us.
Absolutely. Well, folks, there you have it. Another episode of I Am Northwest Arkansas. We really appreciate you guys tuning in to the stories that make Northwest Arkansas happen on a regular basis. Remember, we cover the intersection of business, culture, entrepreneurship, and life right here in the Ozarks. And if you love what Danny and Blanca were talking about today, you need to check out with them, follow them. I'll put all that information in the show notes so you can stay abreast of everything that these wonderful entrepreneurs are doing right here in our own backyard. And remember, if you're here in Northwest Arkansas, anything is possible. Let this story be a testament to you that you can get your dream off the ground and make it happen. I'll see you next week with another new episode of the I Am Northwest Arkansas podcast. Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of I Am Northwest Arkansas. Check us out each and every week, available anywhere that great podcasts can be found. For show notes or more information on becoming a guest, visit IamNorthwestArkansas.com. We'll see you next week on I Am Northwest Arkansas.
Searching for local businesses in Northwest Arkansas just got easier. From restaurants to roofers, boutiques to baristas, FindItNWA.com connects you to the best local businesses with just one click. Discover something local, something great. Visit FindItNWA.com today. Find it fast, find it local, FindItNWA.com.